now that the Beit HaMikdash had been built, it's now time for the initiation, the inauguration, the big kickoff celebration of the Beit HaMikdash. The Beit HaMikdash had to be dedicated or inaugurated in front of the Sanhedrin and the leaders of Bnei Israel, the Zikanim. And the biggest part, if not one of the biggest parts of this whole celebration, is Shlomo bringing the Aron Kodesh with the Luchot inside into the Beit HaMikdash in front of the whole joyous crowd. So let's see how this reads out in the Psukim. Az yakel Shlomo et Ziknei Yisrael. So Shlomo gathered the Zikanim, from the word yakel, like a kihila, or the mitzvah of hakel. Shlomo gathered the Zikanim, and he brought everyone together to bring laha'alot, or to raise up, at Aron Brit Hashem, the Aron Kodesh, Me'ir David Hitzion, from Ir David into the Beit HaMikdash. Vayikalu el HaMelech Shlomo, they all gathered to Shlomo, Kol Ish Yisrael. So not only were the Zikanim, but actually Kol Ish Yisrael, every one of the people of Bnei Israel came voluntarily. They wanted to be there. They wanted to be part of the celebration. And when did this occur? B'Yerach, in the month of Eitanim. And this is the 7th month, Chodesh HaShvi'i, which, if you do the counting, is actually Chodesh Tishrei. So why is Chodesh Tishrei called the month of Eitanim? Eitan means strong. So the Gemara gives an answer that it's called the month of Eitanim, the strong ones, because that was when the Avot were born. And so much so that the Avot were born, that there was such an important month that actually the Navi says that the construction of the Beit HaMikdash was finished in the 8th month of the previous year, meaning that the chanukat habayit was actually pushed off for 11 months until this Tishrei. And the Midrash says that Hashem wanted this chanukat habayit to take place in Yerach HaEitanim, specifically the month that the Avot were born in order to emphasize that he accepted Shlomo and he approved of the Beit HaMikdash. And another answer given by the Abarbanel is that the delay was caused by the need to prepare sufficiently for the huge celebration that was going to be held in honor of the Beit HaMikdash. So, again, moving on. As was planned, Vayalu et Aron Hashem, they bring Aron Hashem, Ve'et Ol Moed, and the Ol Moed, Ve'et Kol Klei HaKodesh, and all the special vessels and parts of the Beit HaMikdash from the Ohel, Vayalu otam HaKohanim HaLevim, and they bring them, and the Kohanim and Levim bring them. Ve'amelech Shlomo, Ve'chol Adai Yisrael Hanoadim Alav Ito, everyone that was with Shlomo, are bringing korbanot, mizabchim, like a zevach. They're bringing korban, a mizbeach, bringing korbanot during this time. This is an extremely happy time. They're dedicating the Beit HaMikdash. The whole nation is together, united, feeling the presence of Hashem. And the Kohanim, vayaviu HaKohanim, etz Aron Brit Hashem el makomom. They put the Aron in its place in the Beit HaMikdash underneath the Kruvim. We discussed the Kruvim, and the next few psukim describe what the Kruvim looked like, and the badim, the sort of the sticks that stuck out. And there's nothing in the Aron, rak shnei luchot avanim. The luchos are in the Aron. Who put them there? That Moshe put them there at Har Sinai, when Bnei Israel and Hashem had their brit, their covenant, when bitzeitam me'eretz Mitzrayim. Now maybe you could think of a connection between mentioning this and the Beit HaMikdash, as we discussed previously. And so, when the Kohanim left from the Kodesh, from the Beit HaMikdash, the Ha'anan Maleh et Beit Hashem, the cloud of Hashem, or Hashem Shechina, filled the Beit Hashem. And what was the result of this cloud filling the Beit Hashem? The Kohanim couldn't stand because of this cloud, because the glory of Hashem filled the Beit HaMikdash. V'lo yachlu HaKohanim la'amod l'sharet. They couldn't stand and serve anymore. Mipnei ha'anan, from the cloud, because something about the cloud sort of pushed them out, and they couldn't be there because Hashem's presence was there. So now we're going to skip the next part, which is mainly Tefillah of Shlomo. We're going to hopefully return to that Be'ezrat Hashem. And now we're going to continue with what happens post Tefillah Shlomo. So Vayi Kechalot, again that language of Vayichal, Vayichlu, when Shlomo finished Lihitpalel Hashem, finished davening to Hashem, and he finished his plea and his tefillah, he stood up and he spread out his arms almost, that he was in the position of tefillah when he was davening previously. And he stood, and what did he do? Vayivarech, like a bracha of the kol kehal, like hakel again. He gave a bracha in a kol gadol, in a loud voice, to the whole Bnei Yisrael. What did he say? He says, bless Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, bless Hashem, that gave Asher Natan, Menucha La'amo Yisrael. Some of you might recognize that from one of the Zemirot that we sing on Shabbos. And he said, you gave Menucha to Bnei Yisrael, Hashem, and you did everything you said you would. Lo nafal davar echad mikol dvarah tov asher diber b'yam Moshe avdav. Everything you said you were going to do, you've done. And then he says another little mini tefillah, also for maybe a song you might know. Yehi Hashem Elokeinu imanu. Hashem should always be with us. Kasher haya im avotenu. Again, like the Yarach Etanim. It's all about the avot. Al yazvenu, Hashem, please do not leave us. Like Azav, do not leave us. Al yishenu, do not forsake us. Please, Hashem, make sure our hearts, livavenu, are always turned toward you, lalechet b'chol deracham, to always walk in your path. Lishmor mitzvotav v'chukav u'mishpatav asher tzivat avotenu. Again, the avot are important. Hashem, help us keep the mitzvot. And Hashem, everything that I prayed for, hitzchananti, like a techina or a tachonin, everything that I pled for in front of you, pleaded for, should always like come true. That you should always do a mishpat, that you should always be just, do just, and act justly with your servant. Why? What's the goal of all this? Lima'an, so that da'at kol ha'me'aretz ki Hashem hu ha'elokim ein od. Everyone should know that Hashem is the one and only God, like it's hanging above our classroom, and there's no one besides for Him. And your hearts, livavchem, like a lave, should always be shalem, should always be full with Hashem, to always follow His mitzvot. And as this is happening, they are all bringing korbanot, zovchim zevach. Because again, korbanot can represent thanks, it can represent praise, it can represent asking for forgiveness. It's a time of a new beginnings, a celebration. And Shlomo also brings korbanot, vayizbach Shlomo korbanot, he brings his own. Vayichanchu, like a chanukat, they inaugurated at Beit Hashem, the king and the whole people. And it continues to just speak about that Shlomo sanctified Beit HaMikdash, and Shlomo made this a chag. It was a holiday, a joyous celebration with the whole people in front of Hashem. Shivat Yamim v'Shivat Yamim Arba Asar Yom, 14-day celebration, and on the 8th day, Yom Hashmini, Shilach etam, he sent the nation Vayvarchu et HaMelech, and they blessed the king. Everyone returned to their houses, smechim v'tov leiv. Anyone recognize where that phrase is similar to? Al kol tovah, they were so happy and joyous because of all the tovah, the goodness that Hashem did to David and to Bnei Israel, his people.